In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating how I attach the work surface area to the Gryphon Ring Saw. I've had a couple of people ask how to do it because it does clip in and they're a little bit concerned about damaging that work surface area. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the only way or the best way, but it's the way that works for me. I'm also going to be demonstrating how to put the water into the reservoir so as you get a flow of water out of the arm here without it being a huge torrent. And again, this is just my way of doing it. It doesn't mean it's the only way or the best way, but it's the way that works for me. So let's get into the video. Now, before you begin using your ring saw, always make sure that you read the instructions that come with it, including the safety instructions. Now, with regards to the work surface area, all I'm going to do is just place it near the actual blade here. And that blade will, of course, go down this path into this circle cutout area here. So I'm just going to lift it up and just slide it down to there. Now, when we're finished installing this work surface area, this blade must be in the center. It can't be touching the left side or the right side. It must be in the center of this cutout. And all I'm going to do now is just get my thumb and push down in the center here. And as you can hear a little click, I'm just going to push it in there and move it along just gently, just pushing down, and it slots in again. And then I'm going to check here to make sure that it's near the center, which it is. But around this area here, there's going to be a difference. This side for me is, or this side here is lower, and this side here is a bit higher. Now I'm going to get there, and I'm going to still hold my thumb down here, but I'm going to just push near the actual throat of the actual ring saw at the back there until I hear it click. And that now means that that work surface area here is level. If you didn't do that, then when you get a piece of glass, it'll hit that side because it'll be high, it has it slotted in. And that's all there is to it. Make sure that now you check here to make sure your blade is still center of that hole. And if it is, and it all feels really good, and it's flat across here, then it's pretty well locked in. Now I do find on mine, up the back here, it slightly lifts by about 2 millimeters. It doesn't sit totally flat. I'm assuming that that is because, it may have had a slight distortion to it or something like that. It doesn't affect the way it all works, but you may have the same thing. I'm not really quite sure, but the rest of it is sitting beautifully flat. Now, when I'm going to be adding the water, I remove the work surface area, and inside here, there's your water level indicator line, and I generally don't fill the water up to that line for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons why I don't generally fill up to that water level mark is because of the amount of water that is released from this arm when I'm cutting a small piece of stained glass. Now, we definitely do need water coming out of this arm no matter what type of cutting we're doing when we're using this saw. However, it's the amount of water that is released, and I find it's far too much for when I'm just cutting a small piece of stained glass. Now, another reason why I don't fill up to that water level line generally is because this arm is made up of 2 pieces of plastic, and I find that if I fill it up to that water level line, I can get water coming out of this join here. So by reducing the amount of water that the machine actually takes up, I find that stops that from happening. It does really get easier after you've done this a few times to actually put that work surface area in its place. And remember, when you've done that, make sure that the actual blade is in the center of that hole. Now what I'm going to do is start turning it on and then start adding the water until I get the amount of water coming out of the arm that I need to do the job. You can hear the water starting to come up through the arm. And so that's about all I need. So I wouldn't add any more water to that. And as you can see, it's gaining a bit of momentum. So I probably added a fraction more than what I really need to actually do the job. Now let's see how much water is actually coming out of this arm when we're cutting a piece of glass. Well, that was more than enough water to cut that piece of stained glass, and I could have even gone with less water. When I was adding the water in through the hole there, I should have actually had slowed down towards the end there to allow the water, because it does build up in the arm and it takes a little bit to actually get through that arm. So if I had slowed down, I could have had less water. Whereas if you just keep adding the water quite fast, then you'll have a whole heap of water coming out the end here. But it's personal preference how much water you have, as long as you have water coming out that arm when you're cutting any material with the ring saw. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've taken something away from it. If you have any comments, please put them down in the bottom of the comment section of the YouTube channel. I enjoy reading them, and I know my other Treasury Road viewers enjoy reading them as well. If you did like the video, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. And if you saw value in the video, please share it far and wide. And I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy.